Guess what? Welcome to another DJ Wilson STEM video. As we have been working before, I'm going to show you another project working with the, yeah, you guessed it, the Protractor. Okay, so just going over a few parts of the Protractor again, just so we're all clear. The Protractor, well, actually, let's take a step back. The Protractor's really main purpose is for creating angles. And for our project, we're going to be using it to create triangles, okay? So, a couple parts of the Protractor that I like to go over. First part down here, you have your edge, okay? Now, this edge has a inches ruler down here. There's also another edge on the inside here. This has a metric ruler, you know, centimeters, meters, kilometers, stuff like that. You have this line right here. This is called your center line. And then you have this little hole right here that is right in the middle of your center line. That is called your center hole, okay? And then you have your degree markings on the outside and the inside of your Protractor, okay? So the triangle, or that we're going to be making today, is for, again, this is one of the parts of the project, but this is a 90, 60, 30 triangle, okay? 90, 60, 30 triangle. Now, one thing that is very important to remember about triangles is that all of the angles have to add up to 180 degrees. If they add up to 181, it's not a triangle. If it adds up to 170, it's not a triangle. Okay, it can't be. So all the angles in a triangle have to add up to 180 degrees. So first thing we're going to do in drawing this triangle is going to be, you're going to need to make sure you give yourself some working space with this particular triangle, okay? Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a straight line, okay? Doesn't matter how long that line is, for this particular triangle, the longer the better. Again, remember, anything that is extra will erase at the end, okay? So now that I've drawn that straight line, that is a nice straight line, beautiful. I don't know if anybody in the world could draw a straight line like that. All right. So what I'm going to do is my center line, right? I'm going to put that over the line that I just drew. I'm going to match it up as best as I can, okay? And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a tick mark in my center hole, okay? And then what I'm going to do is my first angle is going to be a 90-degree angle. So I'm going to look for 90 degrees. I'm going to make a tick mark right there. Okay? Oops. And then what I'm going to do, I'm play one of my favorite games, connect the dots. And then what I'll do is at this point, I'm actually going to draw a straight line through those 2 points. Okay? So what I'm going to do is my triangle is going to be on this side. So I'm going to draw that right angle mark, because we know a 90-degree angle is a right angle. Alright? So that one is done. So the next angle I'm going to make is a 60-degree angle. Now, one of the things to remember is for this project, all of the sides of the triangle have to be at least 2 inches or more, okay? So what I'm going to do, and if you watch the other, the 60-60-60 or the equilateral triangle, or the right angle triangle, the 90-45-45, you'll know what I've done before. And I'm just going to repeat that process, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my guideline, my center line, again over the original line I drew, okay? But I'm going to measure 2 inches away from this first line, because I'm going to make sure that that this line is at least 2 inches, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat that process that I did for this angle. I'm going to make a hole. I'm going to make a tick mark in the center hole right there, okay? And look, there's 60 degrees. And then I'm going to make a tick mark at 60 degrees, okay? Then guess what I'm going to do? You know it. Connect the dots. So now I'm going to match up those 2 tick marks, and I'm going to close out my triangle. Now I'm drawing past my triangle, okay? Past those original lines, because obviously if you watch the videos that I did before, you know that we're doing this in an engineering drawing, so there has to be some width and there has to be some depth to the material that we're using, okay? So the material for the project that we're using is an 1/8 of an inch material. As you know, for this particular protractor, there are no 1/8 inch marks on this edge of the triangle of the protractor. So I get out my handy dandy Fairgate Bi-Stamp Incorporated ruler. Okay? Alright, so actually let me do something. Let me take a step back because I'm getting a little bit excited there. I'm going to mark my angles. So this was 60 degrees. And so, because of the fact this is 60 degrees, this has to be what? You're right, 30 degrees. It has to be 30 degrees. Since this is 90, 60, 30, has to add up to 180, okay? So, now fast forwarding just a little bit. Now because of the material that we're using for this project is going to be an 1/8 of an inch material, I need to draw an 1/8 of an inch. I need to show that each side is an 1/8 of an inch thick, okay? So to do that, and like I said before, I don't want you to just guess and just draw lines. No, we need to do this with the ruler. Just take the extra little bit of time. It's going to make a huge difference on the neatness and beautifulness of your project, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to match up my ruler here, and I'm going to make a tick mark at an 1/8 of an inch on the outside, okay? And I'm going to do that same thing down here. Make a tick mark down there. And then once I do that, then obviously you know, if you watched the video previously, I'm going to measure and then draw that outside line that shows that this is now an 1/8 of an inch. This is an 1/8 of an inch thick material, okay? And I'm going to do that all the way around, okay? So there's an 1/8 of an inch. Make a tick mark there. Come down here. 1/8 of an inch. Tick mark on the outside. And the same thing down here at the bottom. 1/8 of an inch. Tick mark. And repeat. Alright. So, same thing that I did before. Match up those tick marks. Tick marks. So there is my triangle. Now obviously, personally, I want to get rid of those extra lines. Now you do not need to do all this erasing. do just for instructional purposes, and also sort of simple fact that it's easier for you, my students, estudiantes, to see. Okay, so there is, boom, my 90, 60, 30 triangle. Now, obviously, you know something's missing. What's missing? What's missing? What's missing, Mr. J. Will? Well, I'll tell you. I'm glad you asked. So, what is missing is your measurements. Okay? So, let's measure the sides. So, and again, remember, you measure from tip to tip. So, outside tip to outside tip. All right? So this side right here, this is right at 2.5 inches. The length right at 4 inches. I'm rounding, just so you know, I'm rounding. So that is 4 inches. And then the hypotenuse from tip to tip. Oh, I'm not, oh, okay, maybe I can. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 inches. And there's eighths here. So there's 1/8, 2/8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4 and 7/8 inches. Okay, so that is your triangle that you are going to draw. Okay, hope it was beneficial for you. And again, remember, this can be used for anything, any type of engineering, drawing. Just remember, draw it out first, measure, measure, measure. Make sure you include the width of the material. Now, obviously, if this was going to be something more engineering, you have to scale it up some. If you weren't using 1/8 inch material, you were using 1/2 inch material, then you would have to measure 1/2 inch. Obviously, that would be different. But for the project that we're doing and the education and learning that we're doing, we're using 1/8 inch material because we're using 1/8 inch material. Okay, with that being said, have fun. Again, always remember, hashtag go build something cool. Hashtag STEM is fun. All right, and deuces. All right, peace out, y'all. Thanks for watching.